The language of learning, of joyful learning. It's through play that they discover themselves and discover the world. And just as play helps children discover themselves, so does boredom. So let our children get bored. It's perfectly okay. But in order to experience boredom, and indeed to let our children play, we need to reduce their screen time and let their minds wander without constant stimulation. We encourage you all to head on to our website, ndtv.com/Bachpan Manao, and take our pledge of less screen, more play. And today, it's less screen, more boredom. Now let's see how parents responded when they hear these three words. Mama, I am bored.
चलो हम मिलकर ड्राइंग करते हैं.
Okay, Mama.
El Paro book?
Nas.
Yeah, this one or this one?
Nas.
Okay. Paint? Yes, that's nice. You're fine then.
तो बोर होना चाहिए. तो आपका फेवरेट कार्टून देखें? साथ में मिलके बैठ के देखें? चलो आ जाओ.
What do I do?
सोचो खुद सोचो. मम्मा कहाँ है?
I've already went there. I can't decide which toy.
Why are you bored all of a sudden? You want to do something right now?
Oh, I'm not sure what to do. Tell
You
me.
want to read a book?
टीवी की बजाय तुम थोड़ी किताबें पढ़ लो प्लीज.
लगता है मैं एक किताब बनाऊं.
हाँ, किताब लिख सकते हो तुम.
You're bored? What do you want to do?
I don't know.
Why don't you play the music? Harmonium. Rusha, your harmonium.
No.
Okay. Any board games like Ludo? You want to play Ludo? Do you want to hear a story? Yeah. Okay, that's it.
As parents, we are always trying to give our children something to do so that they don't get bored. But for the child's own sake, it is very important to let them get bored. Here is Shweta Gandhi telling us why.
So what are the three benefits of boredom? First, it boosts creativity. हार्वर्ड का एक रिसर्च कहता है जिन बच्चों के पास कम टॉयज है वो उससे ज़्यादा क्रिएटिव वे में प्ले करना सीखते हैं. प्रिटेंड प्लेज, इमेजिनेटिव थिंकिंग उनका बहुत बढ़ता है. सेकेंड इज इट एनहांसेस देयर इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस. इसका मतलब है जब बच्चा बोर हो रहा है वो अपना सेल्फ रेगुलेशन मैनेज करना सीखता है. बिकॉज बोर्डम टीचेज यू पेशेंस. उसमें टॉलरेटिंग द स्टिलनेस, मैनेजिंग फ्रस्ट्रेशन, ये सारी चीज़ें बच्चा बोर होते हुए सीखता है. दैट हाउ डू आई शिफ्ट माई इमोशनल स्टेट विदाउट एक्सटर्नल हेल्प. एंड नंबर 3 इज एनहांसेस प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. बिकॉज जब हम बोर होते हैं हमारा ब्रेन इज इन अ नेचुरल डिस्कम्फर्ट बिकॉज हम बोर हो रहे हैं. और तब मेरा ब्रेन क्रिएटिव होता है, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. मेरे पास जितने रिसोर्सेज है, अच्छा इसका क्या सोल्यूशन निकालूं, माई ब्रेन न्यूरल स्पार्क्स होते हैं. डू यू नो व्हाट एक्चुअली हैपेंस इनसाइड अ चाइल्ड्स ब्रेन व्हेन दे आर बोर्ड? बोर्डम इज ऑफ्टन व्यूड एज समथिंग नेगेटिव, स्पेशली इन चाइल्डहुड. हमें लगता है हमारा बच्चा अगर बोर होता है तो हमें क्विकली उसका फिक्स करना पड़ेगा. बट डू यू नो इन न्यूरोसाइंस इट इज कॉल्ड अ विंडो ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी. इसका मतलब क्या है? मेरे बच्चे का ब्रेन इज गोइंग फ्रॉम टास्क पॉजिटिव मोड, जो जनरली बहुत फोकस अटेंशन वाला ब्रेन होता है, इट इज शिफ्टिंग टू डिफॉल्ट मोड नेटवर्क. और डिफॉल्ट मोड नेटवर्क का मतलब क्या है कि मेरे बच्चे का ब्रेन शिफ्ट हो रहा है टूवर्ड्स क्रिएटिविटी, इमेजिनेशन एंड सिमुलेशन. मेरा डेली बेसिस में फोकस एंड अटेंशन के टाइम पे मेरा ब्रेन ये मोड में नहीं जा सकता. सो बोर्डम के टाइम पे ये मोड एक्सेस हो रहा है. सो बोर्डम इज अमेजिंग. लेट योर चाइल्ड बी बोर्ड. I am bored is actually a sign of higher intelligence in children. Babe, पेरेंट्स जब बच्चा बोलता है आई एम बोर्ड, हम एकदम स्ट्रेस आउट हो जाते हैं, या तो क्लास लगा देते हैं या फिर स्क्रीन दे देते हैं। पेरेंट्स, बोर्डम इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम टू फिक्स, इन फैक्ट इट्स अ स्पेस टू होल्ड। बोर्डम में बच्चा मल्टीपल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकता है, विच इज अ हॉलमार्क ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस। जब बच्चा बोर हो रहा है तब मेरा बच्चे का ब्रेन स्लो नहीं है, वो लो स्टिमुलेटेड नहीं है। इनफैक्ट मेरे बच्चे का ब्रेन इंफॉर्मेशन फास्टर प्रोसेस करता है, वो ज़्यादा मीनिंग सीख करता है, इसीलिए वो ज़्यादा बोर हो जाता है।
Had J.K. Rowling not got bored on that train journey back to London, probably Harry Potter wouldn't have been written. Some of the best creative minds across the world have credited boredom to their best creations, because it is in these moments of boredom that you make unexpected connections. And it is no different for these two very young Indian artists.
This is from personal experience. When the brain is completely empty, you don't have anything to think about, nothing to probably do at home. Your subconscious starts to remind you of things that might have interested you, something you read, something you spoke about, or something you heard sort of starts to take shape in your mind, and it kind of, coupled with your own imagination, especially because I'm an artist, I think it sort of helps me start writing. In fact, one of the short films that I've written happened when I was really bored. When I had nothing to do, I decided to open my laptop and write down something that had been going on in my mind for a long time, and now I have a full script ready.
As an artist, I think facing roadblocks, writer's block, is a very common thing where you just feel unmotivated. Sometimes when you're like overworked, you're traveling too much, and then you don't really have anything specific that's, sort of fueling your creativity. And I think that leads to boredom. And then when that happens, which I call boredom, figuring out new things that excite you, I think it's like a cycle. Like, you're overworked, you're burnt out, you're being very creative, and then you kind of get bored of doing that same thing that you've been working on. And then that boredom kind of leads to, like I'm in Goa right now, and tomorrow I'm going to try surfing for the first time. And maybe it's something that will sort of bridge that next gap from boredom to creativity. And I feel that truly it's like this weird cyclical behavior. And I think boredom is also important. It inspires you to do things to change things up, basically. And the moment that happens, you discover new things that you fall in love with, and that again fuels creativity.
This is all very well, but how many times we as parents have rushed to fix our children's boredom? What do we as parents do to fix this?
जब भी कभी वो मुझे आकर बोलता है कि पापा मैं बोर हो रहा हूँ, तो मुझे लगता है कि घर और ऑफिस के साथ साथ एक काम और बढ़ गया।
हाउ कैन ही बी बोर्ड? बोर कैसे हो सकते हैं बच्चे, और वो भी इतने ऑल्टरनेटिव्स और ऑप्शंस के बाद। अभी 5 किताबें लेके दी जिसमें से सिर्फ 5 पेज पढ़े, बाकी व्हाट हैपेंड टू दोज ग्लिटर पेन्स वो भी लेके दिए थे। बोरिंग इज अ रेड सिग्नल फॉर मी। एंड सबसे पहले गैजेट्स छुपा लो।
Boredom creates the need of doing something new, especially when children have a monotonous lifestyle. They go to school every day, they go to their classes.
पेरेंट्स की लाइफ आजकल बहुत बिजी हो गई है, वो बच्चे को बिल्कुल टाइम दे ही नहीं पा रहे हैं। और अगर बच्चा बोर हो रहा है, थोड़ा बोर होना भी बच्चे के लिए अच्छा है। अगर वो बोर हो रहा है तो वो कुछ अपने आप से कुछ नया सीखेगा उससे।
We run away from boredom, but boredom is where the child gets the most imaginative ideas.
ये बोरियत शब्द अगर उनकी ज़िंदगी में ना होता तो शायद हमारा जीवन और उनका जीवन काफ़ी आसान होता।
नेचुरल इंस्टिंक्ट कोशिश ये होती है कि उसको थोड़ा सा पुश करें कि वो खुद फिगर आउट करे क्या करना चाहिए।
जब कुछ नहीं है उसके पास करने के लिए तो हम उसको बोलते हैं कि आप फ़ोन देख लो या टीवी देख लो, तो उस केस में वो टीवी देखता है, मोबाइल देखता है, मतलब जो उसको करना पसंद है, जो उसकी हॉबी है उस टाइम पे वो करता है।
मैं बोलती हूँ कि इफ़ योर बोर्ड, अम्मा इज ऑल्सो वेरी बोर्ड, तो मेरे लिए एक नींबू पानी बना दे, तो फिर वो बना भी लेता है। कनु तुम बनाते हो ना मेरे लिए नींबू पानी? नहीं अभी नहीं बनाना है।
सबसे आसान तरीका होता है मेरे लिए कि मैं उसे फ़ोन दे देता हूँ, और फ़ोन में देखकर वो कार्टून्स देखता है या उसको स्केचिंग का शौक़ है, तो स्केचिंग के शौक़ में वो अपना कुछ वीडियोज़ या स्केचिंग ड्राइंग्स देखता रहता है यूट्यूब पर या कहीं भी, और वो अपना टाइम पास इस तरह से कर लेता है।
उसका रूम मेस्ड अप था और ये बोर हो रहा था। टू आवर सरप्राइज उसने अपना पूरा रूम बिल्कुल सेट कर दिया।
जब ये बोर होती है तो ये कई बार अपनी स्टोरीज़ बनाती है। आई हैव सीन हर कि मतलब कभी बोलेगी मैं अगर फ्लाई कर सकती तो मैं ऐसे करती।
एक दिन वो बोर मम्मा बोर लग रही बोल रही थी, मैं उसको ड्राइंग और पेंटिंग्स दिया था, आप कुछ बना लो। वो मैंने खाना बनाने के लिए किचन में गई थी, तब मैं खाना बना के आके देखा तो वो ड्राइंग छोड़ के दीवार के ऊपर ना अपने आप मन मर्जी मम्मी पापा और उनका भैया तीनों का पिक्चर बना दी।
मुझे फीलिंग होती है कि भाई मुझे अब घर साफ़ करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज शी इज़ गोइंग टू डू समथिंग और दी अदर। या तो पूरे घर में पेपर कटिंग्स मिलेंगे मुझे, या क्रेयॉन की पूरे फ्लोर पे क्रेयॉन का वो मिलेगा स्क्रिबल।
क्रिएटिविटी, ओरिजिनलिटी, बिना किसी को कॉपी किए खुद के आइडियाज़ बाहर आते।
अगर बोर्डम एक टीचर होता तो मैं चाहता कि वो मेरे बच्चे को नए नए सोचने के नए नए तरीके सिखाए।
सो मुझे लगता है कि बोर्डम फॉर हिम एंड फॉर मी इज़ अ ग्रेट टीचर टू हेल्प अस स्ट्रेंथन आवर बॉन्ड एंड ऑल्सो हेल्प हिम एक्सप्रेस व्हाट ही हैज़ नॉट बीन एबल टू एक्सप्रेस विद हिज पीयर्स।
These are situations we've all been in as parents, as caregivers, and as adults around children. So this is the best opportunity for us to learn from each other. If you have any suggestion or if you have a question, then you please do write in to us. If you have a suggestion of how to deal with this question when children say, I'm getting bored, or if you have a question, then you can write to us on the NDTV social media handles on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn, on X with hashtag Bachpan Manao. Send us your suggestions or even your questions, and while you do that, we will return after this very short break.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I'm bringing that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti, also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
India's IT capital is always bustling, a city full of startups, stories and surprises. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
More news that matters.
Big exclusive. Tulsi Gabbard gunned down by Pakistan-backed cowards.
When you interact with people on ground, you're able to reflect their sentiments much better.
More debates that shake the system. More exclusives you won't find anywhere else. Not just another prime time. It's a prime time that's unmissable.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you.
Most parents feel the burden of those three dreaded words, I am what. We feel the need and the pressure to constantly engage and entertain our children. So the need really is to address the conditioning of us parents and caregivers. So here is Raghav Himatsinka telling us how do adults deal with the question of I am what.
first thing to understand is that boredom is not a problem to be solved, right? अगर आपका बच्चा आपके पास आके बोल रहा है कि मैं बोर हो रहा हूँ, it is not a problem, and boredom is actually good for the child in many ways because it helps build emotional regulation, social intelligence, helps sparks creativity, and also helps in memory formation. The next thing is that it is not the job of the parent to entertain the child. It's very, very important that parents understand this because parents take a lot of pressure upon themselves that मेरा बच्चा बोर हो रहा है, मुझे कुछ करना चाहिए. The responsibility of taking care of boredom falls on the child, not on the parent, right? The child has to take their own responsibility कि okay, मैं बोर हो रहा हूँ या मैं बोर हो रही हूँ, तो मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ. So as a parent, what you should do is one of the ideas is to create a boredom jar where you put in a lot of ideas. So it's a jar where you put in chits with a lot of ideas of how the child can entertain themselves, engage themselves, right? And the child should be encouraged to pick out the chit themselves, see what's on it. You can read it if your child is not of reading age, and then try and entertain themselves, right? There are 3 phases in which creativity is sparked. One is where your child is discovering aspects of the world, right? So different colors, different textures, different shapes, different sounds, all parts of their senses are getting activated. The second phase is where your child starts to interact with the world. For example, if they are doing painting, they could be doing painting with paint brushes, they could be doing it with fruits and vegetables, they could be playing with Play-Doh. All of these are creative experiences where your child has got to interact with the world. And the third phase is the rest phase. Now this is where the magic actually happens, and this is where your child, when they are feeling bored, has the opportunity to actually think about all of the experiences that they've had in the day and then try and break the norm, break the rule. So the way to handle this is to create that environment where your child is getting the stimulation, but then also give them long phases of rest where they are sitting quietly, maybe bored, so to speak, but also sparking their creativity. The last tip that I have for this is if your child is bored and you feel like, you need to take some action, what we want to do is to try and expend their energy. So essentially, we want them to get physically active, expend their energy, mind starts stimulating, the heart is pumping more blood to the brain, lung is also active. So the easiest way to do that is to engage them in some sort of physical activity. It could be as simple as, okay, run 10 times around the house, right? Once your child does that, they get stimulated, they get tired, and that boredom also goes away.
As adults, we pay too much attention to boredom. When a child tells us they're getting bored, very often we rush to address this complaint. We need to encourage boredom. We need to encourage children to discover and engage with whatever is around them, and chances are they will start playing with whatever they find. So what does a child think about when they're getting bored, and what are their most vivid daydreams? Here's what children had to say.
मैं कुछ नहीं करता उस टाइम, मैं बस ऐसे daydream like I wanna go out with my friends, but not with my parents, anywhere to Japan.
हाँ, I always सोचता हूँ, मैं हमेशा सोचता हूँ. I think about I was rich and I could have enough food for the whole world.
What is the story behind this castle?
I would live in it.
Oh, lovely.
I'd build it in real life and live in it. Fairy tale stories and dog stories. Doggy. मैं पुलिसमैन हूँ तो मैं चोरों को दिन में मारता. अगर किसी के पास पैसे नहीं है तो पैसे दूंगी. अगर कोई चोर आ जाएगा तो भगाऊंगी. My mom, my dad, my dog, me, my houseworker, my grandma, the whole family. We were playing with each other and having fun with each other, playing games.
I thought of I could make the whole world back to normal without any tree cutters and no pollution.
I'll sneakily go out of the house and go on an adventure. Or going to my favorite place.
What is that?
I'm not gonna tell you. मैं आयरन मैन होता तो लोगों की हेल्प करता और मैं लोगों की जैसे कोई उनका दूसरा कोई विलन आ जाता तो मैं उनको ऐसे मार मार के खत्म कर देता. It's a friendship superpower. I can see everything when there is no light in the dark. I'd make 100 books.
Like I could make my own Kolkata house fly.
और फ्लाई करके कहाँ लेके जाओगे उसको?
I could have took it to Antarctica.
I only have a hopping superpower. I can jump very high. If my balloon is held flown away, then I will jump and catch it.
So, when a child says, I'm bored, we have to resist the urge of jumping in to fill that void. We have to give them that space and time to figure things out on their own. And chances are, when they do so, a mental playground may open up, and who knows, a new creative idea or solution may come out. So please do write to us on what you think and how do you deal with this question when your child tells you, I'm getting bored. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. This is Bachpan Manao with NDTV and Ek Step.
The delegations led by BJP MP Bachpan Panda, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor and NCP leader Supriya Sule have left for their visits today. The delegation led by BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad will be leaving tomorrow. The Bachpan Panda-led delegation will go to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain and Algeria, while the Shashi Tharoor-led delegation will represent India's collective resolve against terrorism in the US, Panama, Guyana, Brazil and Colombia. The delegation led by Supriya Sule, in fact, will visit Egypt, Qatar, Ethiopia and South Africa. My colleague Vasudha spoke to Supriya Sule. Listen in.
NCP's SP MP Supriya Sule is leading a very important multi-party delegation to several important countries, including Ethiopia, Egypt and South Africa. She's here with us to chat. Thank you, ma'am, for speaking to NDTV. How do you see this diplomatic exercise? You're leading a big delegation to South Africa specifically, and that's important with Ramaphosa's meeting with Trump. How are you looking at this diplomatic?
Well, I'm very grateful to the Honorable Prime Minister, the MEA and Kiran Rijiju ji for having this faith and trust in all of us MPs. And I think this is not about politics, this is about India. And I think we all together stand united as Indians. And the whole, the attack on the soul of India, we've lost our innocent tourists who are just on a vacation. So I think we needed to stand up and fight for our rights. And at the same time, on a mission of peace and telling the world the truth about what really happened in Pahalgam and go ahead with zero tolerance against any terrorism anywhere in the world.
Mr. Pawar was also one of the first to come out and praise the armed forces, and his line in some ways also showed what the opposition should be doing. At a time like this, how do you think the opposition should be looking at something like this?
I think the opposition is absolutely united. Even in the all-party meeting, we were very, very clear that we stand united with the government in this extraordinarily challenging time. So I don't think all-party is an issue at all. We are Indians first, and we are very clear, and Mr. Pawar has made it very, very clear from the beginning that be it a parliament session or any issues that we have, this is not the appropriate time. We will have some hard questions to the government, but right now, as Mr. Sharad Pawar ji has told all of us, that we have to stand with the government in these challenging times.
Ma'am, also tell us a little bit about the delegation you're leading. It's an important one. How are you preparing for it, and what are your expectations?
Well, expectations are that we will try our best from all of us, And we'll see how the story unfolds.
Okay, my last question. A little bit of politicization that has happened. How do you look at this, with some parties saying that there needs to be a special parliament session? Some people...
Well, Mr. Pawar has made it very clear on our stand. So we stand by what Mr. Pawar tells us.
Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. Supriya Sule of NCP-SP making it clear that this is time for the political class of the country to stand together. With camera person Gauri Prasad, this is Vasudha Venugopal for NDTV.
All-party MP delegations in Tokyo. Abhishek Banerjee's stern message to Pakistan. TMC MP says he'll not kneel before fear. He also says that India wants to expose the true face of Pakistan and refuses to bow down. He also says that India's action has been calculated and non-escalatory. This is TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee's appeal to Indian diaspora, says and in fact asks them to...
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
The last 1 month, if you see, the share prices of Genzol Engineering has fallen more than 58%.
Why are the rating firms calling the debt payments as default?
We have two credible credit rating agencies on March 4th coming and downgrading the stock to D.
Statements are consistently being proven wrong, and transactions are being taken place which are different from what they were originally pictured to be.
The company claimed it would roll out 6,400 electric vehicles. But what it has rolled out is a shocking scam. Funds meant for the project were funneled allegedly back to the promoters, the Jaggi brothers. What did the money buy? Not EVs, of course, but a lavish flat in Gurgaon's luxurious DLF Carmelias.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
The 10th Niti Aayog Governing Council meeting, chaired by Prime Minister Modi, is underway. This is the first meeting with all state chief ministers after Operation Sindhu. Fadnavis, M.K. Stalin, Nayab Saini attend the meet. India slams Pakistan at the United Nations Security Council. India remains firm on the suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty, says Pakistan violated spirit of treaty by targeting civilians and religious sites. In a major breakthrough in anti-Naxal operation, the CRPF Jawan and the corps of Latihar Police Jharkhand gunned down two of the most wanted Naxal leaders, Pappu Lohra and Prabhat Lohra, inside the dense forest of Jharkhand.